Hi, and welcome to the Kelly Kitley podcast, America's Social Worker Unfiltered, where every week I have hopeful, honest, and deeply human conversations with changemakers. And today I've been fangirling about this woman that is on the podcast and watching all the work that she's been doing from afar. And I feel like a proud mom. But I am so
Aw.
excited to introduce you to Suzanne Warye, who is the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. She just released a book a couple months ago and is the author of The Sober Shift, which is a modern day guide to living an abundant, sober life. And she also created the Sober Mom Cafe, which is a virtual sober support network for moms and women who are looking at potentially living a sober life. So thank you for saying yes and for being here today.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. What an
You
intro. I love it.
Well, and I say the proud mom piece, I've been sober for 12 years and
Amazing.
thank you. Some of the women that you mentioned in your book, Holly Whitaker, who wrote Quit Like a Woman, that I know was influential for you, and
Yeah.
Laura McCowan, We Are the Luckiest, her book and what she's created. And she and I were on the Today Show and got sober around the same time for mom drinking culture. So
Yes.
I
Oh, that's
feel
amazing.
Thank you. I feel like it goes in waves. And when I got sober, AA was the only option.
Yeah.
And the way I psychoeducate as a therapist now, which I'm also so excited because your mom was a
I
therapist
know.
for
Yes.
25 years.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of parallel things in our
Yeah.
life. But the platform you've created is just amazing to me. And
Thank
I'd love
you.
for you to walk listeners through. I mean, you were a fashion and still are influencer, but your
Yeah.
Instagram has like over 300,000 followers, just for your account, and then all your sober stuff on top
Yeah.
of that. But how brave of you to make that transition from being this icon, so to speak, in this world of fashion and all things pretty and beautiful, and to then take a risk and say, hey, and I'm sober. Who wants to follow me along?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because I think looking back, it maybe looks brave, right? From the outside, but it was really like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, I don't know how I'm going to influence in sobriety. I think influencing just came naturally to me because I've been doing it for so long.
Mhm.
And then I also quit drinking. And I was like, experiencing these pretty amazing things in sobriety. Not like, rainbows and unicorns, but really like that the shift of being able to trust myself and like this quieter confidence. And I was like, I feel like I just want more people to know this because
Mhm.
I thought sobriety was, you know, gloom and doom and destined to miss alcohol forever and it just felt dark and cold. And it wasn't that for me. And it's never been that for me. And so then, yeah, when I decided, I was like, okay, I think it was about a year into my sobriety that I was like, I think I'm more passionate about this than I am about, cotton sweaters, even though I love a cotton sweater and, and a good pair of denim, like it's the best. But I wanted to go a little bit deeper. Um, and that did mean, letting go of my manager and saying, letting the campaigns dry up and kind of starting over as an influencer.
Okay.
But it was worth it to me just to kind of, I say on Instagram that I glamorize sobriety, because, is sobriety glamorous? No, but neither is
Mhm.
alcohol, and they've glamorized that forever. And so, like,
Mm.
if one or the other is glamorous, it's sobriety. So, yeah. So then I just took a chance, and I always thank my followers for catching me when I jumped because I was really like, all right,
Mm.
let's just see how this is going to go. I don't know who's going to stick around. And thankfully, they did stick around. And then new women found me. Yes, so many new women found me. So it ended up working out.
Well, and I mean, Suzanne, I devoured your book. It is so well
Thank
researched.
you. Oh, thank
It
you.
not only shares your personal story, but it also gives prompts of things for people to think about and journal, and shares other women's stories. And it is on my must read list for my audience for December.
Thank
And
you.
especially for people who are continuing to look at their relationship with alcohol and are sober curious.
Yeah.
And you have had such a ripple effect, not only on your platform, but also your mom stopped drinking,
Yes.
your husband stopped drinking.
My brother, even though he doesn't give me credit, and I'm not going to take all the credit because he's my older brother, but I do want to, he's my older brother to be like, no, 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 this is
Yeah.
no, but it's not my credit to take, but they were kind of like my guinea pigs in sobriety in this sober shift, kind of the way I was thinking about my sobriety. And I didn't even know that. It was just how I was talking about it, all of these things that I was working through in the book. Each chapter is a shift, right? So kind of the shift of the old way we used to
Mhm.
think about it
Mhm.
to something that feels, to me, it just feels better and more free each shift. And so, yeah, I was kind of able to see in real time my mom work through it. And then, my husband quit drinking 4.5 years after I did, which I did not think would
Mhm.
happen.
Mhm.
So that's been amazing.
Well, and it's contagious
Yeah.
because, in Alcoholics Anonymous, there is something about looking for people who you want something that they have.
Yeah.
And when similarities in terms of, my best friend got sober 6 weeks before me. Then
Yes.
another good friend of mine followed me. And then my brother got sober 3 years later. And whether it's somebody in your personal life or the people you're influencing, I think the common thread is people want something that you have and that you found in sobriety.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I also think, for so long I felt like I was the only one struggling to moderate, or even when I did moderate successfully, and that's in huge quotes because, what is that even?
Mhm.
Um, I felt alone in it. I felt like everyone else had drinking figured out, and I was the only one kind of in my head about it.
Mhm.
And so then once I started talking about it, I think I think people really gravitate toward someone who is going to tell the truth about what a lot of us are feeling and thinking, right?
Mhm.
And they're
Mhm.
saying like, "Wait, yeah, me too. I thought I was the only one." And as soon as I heard that kind of drumbeat of women saying, I thought I was the only one, that did help me say, okay, well, I just have to keep saying this and get louder and
Mhm.
reach more women.
Mhm.
And then they are drawn to that, because it's kind of the twofold of let's tell the truth about what alcohol is and what we've all lost to it, while also really sharing that bright side of sobriety and making it something that is yeah, aspirational, I think, because it deserves to be.
Mhm. And it's not the person that's the problem, it's the
Oh,
alcohol that's the problem.
yes. Yes. I think if yes, like 100,000 times yes, right?
Mhm.
I think that that's what we have been taught is that there are normal drinkers. That's another one in quotes. It hurts me to even say that. And then people who just, I don't know, can magically not become addicted to an addictive substance. And I don't, that's not right. That's not factual. Some people I do think have more willpower when it comes to things. Generally, that's going to run out. And then it's the blaming ourselves.
Mhm.
What is wrong with me that I can't do this? Why can't I? I should be able to, all of that, right? That then we spiral into shame and collapse in on ourselves instead of really, yeah, like looking at alcohol, being like, okay, hold on. What if I wasn't ever the problem?
Mhm.
What if I'm drinking this exactly the way it's been designed for me to drink it? Like
Mhm.
I'm actually doing, I'm doing it right.
Right,
Like,
right.
and really shifting the focus to alcohol for me was crucial in early sobriety so that, to get out of that shame cycle, which can really just keep us stuck. Because for me, shame was the most corrosive thing to feel, right? And so really taking myself out of that, and then getting mad at alcohol, putting the blame squarely where it deserves to be on alcohol, and really saying, okay, what have you stolen from me? And hearing stories of where it's stolen a lot more and that I'm not willing to wait.
So, can you tell listeners about that shift for you? You're coming up on a 6-year
Yeah.
anniversary in January, sober
Yes.
for good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and I just have the vision of you at the party in the tents, and I don't want to
Mm.
give too much away because it's
Yeah.
such a great story. But like, and then you posted something the other day of you crying,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and like thinking about this was it
Yeah.
for you drinking.
Yeah.
Um, and you woke up. Tell the story because I
Yeah.
think so many every woman can see herself in these pages
Yeah.
at some level. And so I know I've had the experience that you describe in the book, and I know a lot of moms have
Yeah.
as well. And for something shifted that morning for you.
Yes, it really did. I woke up, it was January 19th, 2020, and I had drank for the first time in probably a year because my third baby was 3 months old. I was nursing him, and I had nursed him in the night and I didn't remember. I had blacked out. It was a bottomless champagne party.
Mhm.
And yeah, I woke up and man, you know, I'm tethered to that morning now in such a wonderful way of a kind of sliding doors before and after way. But
Mhm.
I was definitely tethered to that moment in that morning for like the first year. Anytime I found myself like romanticizing alcohol, I would bring myself back to just how I felt when I woke up, realized I I my memory was gone. I had blacked out, which I hadn't done in years. And hearing my full life go on downstairs without me, and that never happens, right? And then I was just useless and recovering all day long on the couch. And it just hit me that this whole scene really missed a mom, right? Like a mom would know what to do. A mom would be able to like put these pieces back together. And so I said to my husband, I'm done. Um and as I said the words, I was like, "Oh my God, what are you saying? What does that? No, what does that mean? What do you mean you're done?"
And
Right?
you had said that to him before. Yes?
Yeah, I think probably just like, yeah, I'm never
Yeah.
drinking again,
Right,
right?
right.
And then he's
Mhm.
like, yeah, okay. He didn't feel the gravity of the situation because, he was never in my head after drinking. Like, we're very good at hiding our feelings and our doubts and our shame around our drinking,
Mhm.
right? It's like that
Mhm.
mold in the basement. We just push it down, push it down.
Yeah.
But there was something different that morning. Um, and of course it had to do with blacking out and nursing my baby and really taking that in and saying, okay, I'm not going to explain this away by saying, yeah, I just didn't eat enough, right? Oh, it was the bread, like I forgot to eat bread, or I didn't have water in between. I had done that for so long, for so many years, and that was just giving alcohol a pass
Mhm.
and beating myself up. And instead I was like, yeah, I'm not going to make excuses for alcohol anymore.
Mhm.
I'm going to learn the truth. And I did from that moment. It was like a quest that I got up off the couch, that afternoon, and I had one, AirPod in my ear listening to This Naked Mind first. I had
Mhm.
no idea. I had no idea. First, I had no idea there were like books about this, right? I was just not ever in this like
Yeah, yeah.
sober curious part. I,
Mhm.
I had no idea. And so once I started listening to that book in particular, I was like, oh my God, what? I didn't know alcohol was addictive. I thought
It's
only
like you
some
took
people.
a graduate course or something in
Yes.
your self-exploration.
Totally. Or it was like it was like it felt like stepping out of a cult. It still kind of feels like that sometimes. That you
I
you
love
know like
that. Yeah.
yeah, you're stepping out of this and you see people are still in it and you're like, "Oh, my brain just I don't think like that anymore. I'm completely outside of it now." But it did start to feel like that and the more I learned and also, like Laura's book and Holly's books, the more I listened to these books and heard stories from other women of what they had lost
Hmm.
to alcohol and if it was their rock bottom or whatever they wanted to call it,
Hmm.
it was a really big, like pulling the blinders off. And it allowed me to say, okay, what have I lost? Right? Because I could for years just be like, no, it's fine. I'm happy. I'm married. I didn't lose custody, no DUI,
Yeah.
right? I
Yep.
I I could say all of that, but
Mhm.
this one day began this kind of yeah, mission of me saying, well, let's just tell the truth. Yeah.
Find a softer place to
Ah,
land.
the softer place to land. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think so much of the work you're doing is preventative
Yes.
and proactive.
That's what I hope.
Mhm.
Because I do want to, I get some pushback of like, well, your message of just you can stop drinking. You don't have to drink today could be dangerous because if someone
Yeah.
it is dangerous for someone who is like an active addiction, it can be very dangerous
Yeah.
and fatal for them to just quit drinking,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
that's you can't
They
do
need
that.
detox.
Yes,
Right.
detox,
Mhm.
medical help, like
Mhm.
that is dangerous. That's generally not who I'm talking to,
Exactly.
right? Like I'm talking to most are women
Mhm.
who, have had this tumultuous relationship with alcohol, toxic relationship because it's toxic, and have always thought that they just had to make it work better,
Yeah.
or they thought it was user error. So kind of before they reach it's just been interesting that in our society, it's like push alcohol on you. So you want it, and then you want more of it, and then you want more of it
Mhm.
until you need it. And it's only when you need it that then we have to stop. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
that's doesn't make sense because that's when
Right.
it's dangerous to
Right.
stop,
Right.
right? Like that's when it's not impossible, it's
Mhm.
dangerous, it's
Mhm.
harder,
Mhm.
not impossible. And so what if instead of we waiting until we need it, let's focus on it up here when we're just kind of wanting it and trying to fit into our lives.
Mm. And that whisper, like you talk about the
Yeah.
whisper of just, this isn't working for me. And,
Yeah.
whether you get pushback about your approach, or, I mean, I feel like the sober curious movement now is like it was when I first got pregnant 19 years ago, that was like,
Yes.
which book do I pick up? How do I do
Oh,
this parenting
yes.
thing? It's like, do I need treatment? Do I need therapy? Do I need a sober coach? Like, there are so many more options now.
Yes.
And look, I think no matter what path somebody takes, the core foundation that I found in your book, that I'm getting emotional and I'm feeling chills all over my body, because it's connection, it's
Mm.
community, it's, for so long in my drinking, I felt so alone and I was so
Yeah.
ashamed, and I was like
Yes.
looking for like somebody to be like, "Oh no, I think that way too." And to like unpack that in the groups or to read the things you post, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, that's how I
Yes.
feel." And alcohol doesn't make parenting easier. It
Oh,
actually makes it so much harder.
so much harder. I always think it's just I mean, I love moms so much. I love women. I love moms. I have so much compassion for moms because when we're talking in the cafe and I host a meeting every Friday, so I get to just connect with moms, which is my favorite. And I just see and
Virtually.
hear them. Yeah,
So
virtually on
people
Zoom.
who are listening, wherever they are, they can
Yes.
look on your
Yes.
website and
Yep.
sign up if
Yep.
that's something that they're interested in.
Yeah, and we
Okay.
have meetings 5 days a week. Mine is every Friday at 10 a.m. Central. Just I'm right here in my closet. And yeah, when I just hear them beating themselves up and trying to make this thing with alcohol work and really it's affecting how they see themselves as a mom, which I'm like, oh my gosh, if I
Mhm,
could show you, if I could just show you that removing one thing,
mhm,
right? Just removing alcohol, not, you don't need a workbook to be a better mom. You don't need a book to teach you how to love your kids unconditionally. You get to be the mom you were always supposed to be, and you always could be without alcohol just by removing
yeah,
one thing. Like
mhm,
that is always to me like yeah, that's the best. And then when I see moms really being able to say like, yeah, this is how I always thought it would be.
mhm,
This is, motherhood, yes, it's still hard. It's
mhm,
it's relentless. But now I have a space in it for me. And I get to say, this is how I feel and this is what I need,
mm,
because moms have needs. I mean, I think when you start to talk about mommy wine culture and just how dangerous and insidious it is, I mean, man, is it doing moms such a disservice because we're taught then that we don't matter. Our needs don't matter. We are there to serve and to help our people, but we need to just suck it up, be quiet, numb out, escape, right? Like
mhm,
it's no wonder that
mhm.
moms turn to alcohol and after COVID and
Yeah.
because we have needs and our needs are real and we deserve to have our needs met.
Well, and look, you're not perfect. One of the quotes I love in
Oh
your book
no.
is half-assed, whole heart
Oh,
approach to
the
motherhood.
best. Half-ass whole heart all the time. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
And look, I think we also don't want to glamorize sobriety, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
life is still hard and we still have independent struggles. And you've been open about your obsessive compulsive disorder with intrusive
Yes.
thoughts
Mhm.
after postpartum,
Yep.
being on medication. There are other
Yes.
things that you
Yes.
worked through and manage on a daily basis just to make sure that you're but when you
Yes.
remove alcohol, you can actually fucking work on that
That's the thing, right?
instead of
That's
adding
the
fuel to the fire with
right. And
alcohol.
yes, instead of, yes, making my anxiety so much worse. And then
Mhm.
I think causing me to not trust myself. Like
Right.
that is my favorite part about sobriety is that I can quiet the noise and like trust myself. What are you feeling right now?
Mhm.
When I quit drinking, it took a while for me to even figure out what am I?
Yeah.
I don't know. What am I feeling?
Mhm.
What do I need? Like that is a whole language that we get to learn. And I always found it helpful. I still do, like to go back to 14, 15-year-old me
Mhm.
before I started drinking, before alcohol came into our lives. And this is what always gets me emotional because I just invite her in. And I'm like, hey, you know, can you remind me like what did we like doing after school when we were 14? Like how did we spend our time? How did we feel? What gave us joy? How did we relax? All of this stuff and I've gotten to reconnect with her in sobriety. I've kind of brought her along. I've caught her up on where we are and that has been
Okay.
such a healing. Oh my God, it's so healing
Yeah.
because if you're ever struggling to have compassion for yourself, like think about the age you were when you began drinking. Like that. She's here.
Yeah.
And now we get to show her a lot of things and she gets to teach us so much too.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
how do you talk to your kids about this? Because they're at
Yeah.
ages that they know what you do. I mean, I would imagine they've been to plenty of family parties, or maybe not your family anymore. There's no alcohol
I
there.
know. I know. Which was so weird at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it. And my sister-in-law is like, "Isn't it amazing none of us are drinking?" And I'm
Unreal.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Yes."
That's an incredible, like,
Right?
God
Yeah.
week, I call it. Yeah.
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 Totally.
Mhm. So what do they know? I mean, your
Yeah.
oldest is 11, so,
Yeah.
you know.
It's funny because they know, I mean, they hear me talk about it all the time if it's on the podcast or my meetings and
Mhm.
my book, it's been a topic of conversation. They definitely know we don't drink. They know, I always say, I don't have to villainize alcohol. I just tell the truth about it because that goes a long way.
Mhm,
And just giving them the information that I didn't have, that we didn't have when we were growing up, right?
mhm,
That it's very addictive, that it's
mhm,
going to make you feel good until it makes you feel very bad. And
mhm,
that, it's the same thing as gas that you put in your car. And like
mhm.
all of these things, just information. I
Yeah.
think maybe even more than that, though, is really teaching them how to feel, like
Mhm,
mainly how to feel uncomfortable. And that I teach by just showing them, right?
mhm,
Like they hear me say, I lost my dad just over a year into my sobriety, and it was really rocked me. And they saw me go through that. And I mean, like, go through it, like weeping on the floor in my closet, right? And me just having to say, it's too much. I'm feeling so sad right
right,
now. I need time. And so just hearing that I feel this, I need this, I've seen like them say that when they are feeling something, and when they, like my middle one the other day was like, I am feeling so overwhelmed. I just need time alone. And I was like, "Oh my God." She's 8. I was like, "That's amazing. I'm so proud of you." She's like, "Yeah, but go away." So just that, like I think having a mom who allows not only them to have feelings, because we talk a lot about that, right?
Yeah.
Kids
Mhm,
allowing them to have feelings, but we need to have feelings too.
mhm,
And we need to have the grace to have big feelings ourselves and then say, oh my gosh,
mhm,
I yelled. I'm so sorry. I was feeling really frustrated. I
mhm.
yelled. Let me try to not yell next time or
Yeah,
whatever. It's
yeah.
not about not screwing up, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
just having the freedom of feelings, I think, is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, and you're modeling that, and it's not I mean, even thinking back to grandparents, right? Of like that
Yeah,
grandpa got home from work and poured a glass of whatever
totally.
because he earned it. He had a long day, and
Yes.
so much of what I love about your book is the language that you use.
Thank you.
And I
Yeah.
think it's really important to reframe
Yeah.
for people, and something that is something that I heard for so long. And even still, when people know that I don't drink or find out for the first time, they say, "Well, how bad was it?"
Yes.
And
Right.
or was it really that? It wasn't that bad,
Yeah, you weren't that
yeah.
bad. Yes. Right? Yes.
And we never know what's going on inside somebody internally
Yeah.
and what their feelings and thoughts are. And you use smoking as an example.
Yeah. Yeah.
If somebody smokes 3 cigarettes in a day or a
Yeah.
pack,
Yeah.
I mean, if they quit smoking, they quit smoking.
Yeah, that's like a cause for celebration to be like, yeah, unless probably you're talking to another smoker, right?
Yeah.
Who's like maybe wants to quit.
Yeah.
And then they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, but anytime someone's like, well, yeah, how bad were you or how bad
Mhm,
was it? I do definitely see that as them saying, like, okay, does this mean I have
mhm.
to too? Because they're still in the cult
Yeah.
of thinking like drinking is a privilege,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like, do I have to give this up?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's crazy once you compare it to, or like meth, like compare it to meth. It's the same. Or like
I
cocaine, you
know.
guys, it's the
Yeah.
same. Like, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And more people die of alcoholism, actually.
Yes. And yeah, it's so just insidious and pushed and glamorized and yeah. And so it would be the same as someone being like, well, I mean, yeah, meth, like, yeah, but only meth like 2 or 3 times a week. It's fine. No one would say like, oh my God, you got addicted to meth? Like, what is wrong
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah.
No, it's very clear meth is addictive.
Well, let me change my language. I mean, I'm old school, right? I just use the word alcoholism, which isn't even a DSM-5
Right. Right.
diagnosis.
Yeah.
So, I'm learning as I go too.
And
Um,
that's great. That's what it's all about too,
yeah.
right? It's kind of just figure I always went back and forth with my mom because she was old school and she
Mhm.
was a therapist for, anybody who gets a DUI has to see her. And so she has a lot of like
Yeah.
substance use therapy and so she was, yeah. it was all a kind of growing in a, well, let's talk about this. I just love being able to talk about it,
Yeah,
right?
and
About
that's what
something
it's
that,
about,
yeah,
because
and
nobody
we
talked
haven't
about
been
it
able
before.
to, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was all like cloak and dagger or like
Yeah,
basements and not, and really, yeah, more
mhm,
shaming. And now it's just like, well, let's just talk about this thing that has affected all of us.
yeah, all of us,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
some form or another. I mean, if
Yeah.
you live in this world, you've been
Yeah. If
impacted by
you're
alcohol.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're living and breathing, yeah, it's affected you. If not you, someone you know, or a
Yeah,
family member, something,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, before we end, I do want to say this other favorite quote of mine in your book. Sunday morning is the soul of
Mm,
my sobriety.
yeah.
And I call Sundays Sacred Sunday, Sober Sunday. When I first got sober, every Sunday morning at 6:30, I went to a meeting, and my husband, our kids were so little then, and they did like family movie on Sunday mornings until I got home.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
like Sundays were always sacred to me, even when I was
Yeah.
drinking. And it was that battle that you talk about
Yes.
too, of like,
Yeah.
I want to be productive, I want to feel good, but like these two people. So Sundays,
I love Sunday.
I'm going to drop this episode tomorrow for people to be able to practice some of the things that you talk about, that are your favorite things to set the tone
Yeah.
for Sundays. And, people don't, if people are looking at their alcohol use and they're saying, I'll wait till January, I've got to get through the holidays, you don't
Mm,
have to do that.
no. Oh my gosh. And the magic of a sober holiday season is, I mean,
Magic.
it's so, yeah, it's magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. So what are some things on Sundays that you like to do that you suggest people do?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I will say my Sunday morning starts Saturday night because
Oh,
Saturday night I mean cleaning the like waking up to a clean
not to
kitchen.
mention that that's your
Oh,
thing, your
that
clean
is
kitchen.
so my thing. I love cleaning my kitchen, first of all, because like none of my people want to be around me when I'm cleaning my kitchen, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because I'll put them to work. And
Right,
so
right.
they leave me alone. I listen to like true crime or, it's very relaxing listening to murder or, like some sort of, I don't know, like just a book or a podcast, anything.
Yeah.
And then they leave me alone. And so then
Mhm.
I get to clean my kitchen. I know that I'm preparing for tomorrow morning me. Like,
Mhm.
I know
Mhm.
tomorrow morning me, I'm going to wake up before the kids because thank God, a quiet house.
Mm.
My coffee's going to be ready. So all I have to do is press play because that, is so important to me. It's these little things that become very sacred in sobriety.
Yeah.
And then I get to either read my Kindle on the couch, snuggle with Georgia.
Mhm.
Like Georgia is she's our Australian Labradoodle, and she's like she's just my comfort little love. And yeah, and so I get this time. I don't work out, I don't work, I don't, I'm not that big into journaling. I think my journaling is more like podcasting
Or
and
writing a book.
writing the book, right? Yeah, get off me. I don't need to journal. Yeah. Yeah, writing a book. And so I don't want to produce anything on Sunday morning. I
Uh,
don't want
yeah.
to like I want to really, yeah, exhale and like just be for before everybody gets up. It's mine, you know?
Yeah. And just when you said press play on the coffee machine, you say that in your book, and I
Yeah.
want people to know you're really funny. And so like
Oh,
I
thank you.
there were parts that I would read that I was like music and New Kids on the Block and
Oh,
like
yes.
all these fun
Yeah.
for people of our generation,
Yeah, I am a Gen Xer like through and through. And so like I love all things Gen X.
Yeah,
So yes.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
so great. Oh.
Thank you.
Well, I am just so grateful you said yes, and I know this episode is gonna really resonate with everybody who listens, whether you're a sober mom or sober curious mom or husband of a mom or sister, aunt, anybody. And I will put everything in the show notes if people are interested in joining I want to make sure I say it right, Sober Mom Cafe.
Yes, thank
Then they
you.
can find more information about that on your website, and definitely, um, purchase your book,
Thank
or
you.
Audible is awesome too.
Yeah, and I narrate it, so you get to listen to my dulcet tones, you
You get your
know? And
personality in that. I love it. I love
thank
it.
you.
So, for all the listeners, I just want to remind you to tap into your passion and be the change that you wish to be in the world, in your relationship, in your family, or in the community. Have a great day.